Leah, I'm going to ask the hard-hitting question that everyone's asking. I like to keep an eye on kind of player data and team data during the season. Something that's jumped out at me with you is the number of aerial duels you're winning has massively gone up this season. Is that something you've worked on with Jonas and the coaching staff specifically?
To be honest, actually not. Like I always knew that's probably one of my biggest weaknesses in my game. So I obviously try to work on the timing to attack the ball. I think in the last games I've been quite fortunate with my aerial duels. It's definitely something I want to keep improving, but it's not my absolute main focus in my IDA training when it's about getting improvements in my game. Let's say it like that.
And it looks like we're going to have like another record crowd for Southampton tomorrow. All of Arsenal's away games at the moment, lots of focus on selling tickets at the Emirates and things like that. But I think just as interesting, Meadow Park always sold out. All of these away games, big away followings, record crowds following Arsenal around. As someone who's been at the club for quite a while and who also played through the behind closed doors era, how have you kind of observed this explosion in kind of fan culture, particularly away from home for Arsenal women?
Well, the support this season has been incredible. I think we built something huge here with the Arsenal family over the last couple of years. I think, as you said, I've came here like 5 6 seasons ago, and I think we barely sell out or sold out at the time the Meadow Park. So it is incredible how the support is growing and how people are coming even to our away games. And I think we had every away game sold out so far this season, and I think that just shows so much about this club, the support around it, and as well that the club is just doing all the right steps as well to let the women's game grow. And I think that was also one of the main reasons why I really wanted to stay here, to be part of that club, because you can just feel that as a player that women's football has a high priority, and I'm so glad that all the fans can see that as well, and they want to be there every weekend to support us, no matter where we play and against who we play.
Thanks, Leah.
Thanks, Tim. Dan.
Hey Lee, I hope you're well.
Hi.
I just want to follow on from Tim's point there about the crowds, because when you're playing away from home, like tomorrow night, 10,000 there, what do you kind of feel on the pitch as a player? Do you kind of feel the atmosphere of the home fans, or, do you find that, because Arsenal are getting such good numbers travelling away that, it almost feels like you've got that away support, and it feels a little bit like a home environment for you?
To be honest, it does mostly feel almost a little bit like a home game. I can remember the game we had in Bristol. I think all I could hear was the Arsenal fans. So they're definitely very loud. So even when we have away games, it kind of seems like we have a home crowd there. But no, it's just great for the women's game. I think I said it before. Our generation was used to play in front of a couple hundred people, and to now almost every weekend have crowds like that as something, it gives you a huge boost on the field, and it's just incredible, to celebrate with the fans when we score, or as well to hear them when they want us to score even more. So I just think it's great, and it makes it's so much more fun. I think the most difference we've ever experienced in our career was in COVID, when we had absolutely zero fans, and I think none of us really had that feeling we had maybe with the fans. I think it felt really empty. It felt like not as important when we won without the fans. So I think to now have them back, and it's growing and growing and growing, it's just incredible, no matter if it's a home or away game.
I just want to ask really two questions on Southampton. The first one, kind of what are you expecting from them as a championship team? But also, obviously, in the Super League, there's only 12 teams, so you only play against 11 different teams in the season. Looking at what's happening in the Championship, there's about 5 teams battling for the title. Would you like to see an expansion of the Super League and to be playing more teams each season?
I think right now it's probably a pretty good amount, because it's about, I think we want to have an attractive league, and I think you want to have as many teams as possible competing with each other. And I think this season you could see that every team actually has the chance to steal points of the top teams. So the gap is getting smaller and smaller, and I think maybe the league will be ready in a couple of years to definitely have more teams in it. Because the women's game is growing. A lot of teams, even in all the second leagues of each country in Europe, of the top leagues, I think is getting better and better. So I hope to see maybe some more teams in the future, but I think right now it's great with what we have. I think the quality is great over all the teams. So it's just really fun, and it also we have to always be on our highest level to beat every team. And I think against Southampton tomorrow, obviously, like, it's going to be an important game for us. We want to go into the next round in the Conti Cup. We want to defend our trophy there. We won last season, and we take that opponent completely serious, and we've seen a lot of good clips of them, analysed them, and definitely seen where their strengths are. But at the same time, we want to dominate that game. We want to go into that game and win it in front of a great crowd, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Brilliant. Thanks, Lee. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Emma from the BBC.
Thank you for your time. I just wanted to touch on what you were saying to Tim before about the crowds, and I thought it was interesting that you said, you know, you wanted to stay because of kind of the following that Arsenal's had. Has there ever been like a point in your career or a moment in your career where you've maybe got an offer from elsewhere, and actually it's the fact that, you know, Arsenal have got such a big kind of fan base and such a big women's team's following that almost made you want to stay?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a secret. I think I'm generally a quite loyal person to clubs, so if I once feel at home, then I don't really want to leave anymore. And I think from the first day at Arsenal, I did feel like this is a place I could imagine myself for many, many years. But of course, when you're in my age, there was a decision to be made last season, and there were definitely other options. But at the same time, I knew what I have here, and I knew I can feel the growth of the game, not only in the league, but also in the club. I can feel new challenges in between the club every day with having new teammates. Right now, this season is maybe the perfect example. I think we have a great battle in midfield with so many talented and different players. So this is something which is challenging me or everybody around me as well. And I think that was maybe one part. So at Arsenal I can keep developing my game, but definitely the growth of the game, the support of the club with the women's game, the facilities we have here, just everything around it. You just want to be part of it. And I didn't want to miss out on anything here, because I do believe that there is so much more potential to reach. And there are the right people here at Arsenal to keep going the next steps. And I think the fan base is obviously huge. I mean, there are great leagues in Europe and outside of Europe, which it would maybe be great to play one day. But at the same time, you have every weekend, such great stadiums, such great crowds. And this is something we worked our whole career for, and we finally have that now. And I feel like, there is nothing else which could replace that, literally, than staying here and just having these experiences week in and week out. So I think that was, for me, then a very easy decision, because that's what I always wanted and even dreamt as a kid, was dreaming as a kid.
Yeah, nice. Well, just one on the Conti Cup as well, the competition itself, because obviously this squad's had success with Jonas in that, and I just wondered how much of a soft spot really, you know, you as a squad have got for this cup, because it's quite often seen as maybe the second one to the FA Cup, but it feels like it's quite an important one for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it is an important one. You could see last season, I think when you have a final against Chelsea in front of so many people, doesn't matter what trophy it is to win. I think it's always going to be, a trophy is a trophy, and I think Arsenal, we're here to win trophies. We maybe haven't won as many trophies as we wanted in the last years, but the Conti Cup always has been one of them, and I think we take it as serious as every other competition. We want to go into the next round, and that's where we go into the game tomorrow. We just want to win that game and make the next step to be in a great position for the next game then against Spurs.
Thanks, Leah. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. We'll come to Anton, and then we'll go to the Chelsea section after this.
Hi, Leah. Nice to see you.
Hi.
I just want to ask you about Beth and Viv, if I may, because obviously it's been a big week for Beth back in the England squad and first start this week as well. So just wondering how they are, sort of, you know, around the camp after everything they've been through over the last year, and how good it is for you, I suppose, to have them back. Yeah,
firstly, it's incredible to see them back. They've been huge players for us for so many years, and for them it was obviously like a difficult moment last year when it happened at the same time and they both had to go through that rehab. I think most of our girls know a bit how that feels like, and they've done so great. They've pushed through the whole 9 months, 10 months, and they came back so strong. So for Beth now to have the call up for national team, I just think it's so deserved. I think you can see in every training that she's slowly finding back to the best version of herself. Obviously, we all know it takes a little bit time, but she is patient. She is doing great. She's working hard, and I'm really pleased for her that she kind of has that. That, I don't know if you can say that little top of the iceberg now of being in the national team again. And Viv, obviously the same. She has been such a huge player for us in the past, and to have her back is just great for the depth of the squad right now. But for her, it's about getting minutes and finding back in the rhythm. I think she's a little bit still behind. She had the surgery a few weeks later than Beth, but she's finding back the rhythm. She will get more minutes in the next weeks, and I'm sure, they will help us more with each week coming up now. And it's just great to have players like them back because they can have a huge impact on the team.
And you said a couple of minutes ago that obviously you kind of, maybe haven't won as many trophies as a collective over the last couple of seasons as you'd want to. Does it feel different this year, what you're building?
I think we definitely have the biggest depth in the squad we've ever had, and I think we have a lot of competition on each position, which definitely helps every individual player to improve their own game. I think that feels different. I think you can feel the gap is getting smaller between starting players and maybe the players who start on the bench. Players coming from the bench keep changing the games for us, which is obviously amazing. So the coach has to make really hard decisions, but I think we have really high standards through that, and I think that's maybe the biggest difference. And I hope as well that if we can build with that and with that team, then I think there are hopefully going to be more trophies for us to win than in the past.